Good morning. So we start today, what is it, episode 21 I think. But we start the day in exactly the same spot that we finished yesterday, because my campsite is only about 20 metres over there. Gorgeous little campsite it was as well. As you can see, I'm already wearing the sun gear, shorts and hat, because it's warm. Unlike last night, absolutely freezing. Got down about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius last night. Put the Fahrenheit on the screen. Oh, it was cold. Same again tonight apparently. But meanwhile today, it's going to be a scorcher. Right, well it's lovely views and all, but I really need to make a move, don't I? Oh well, here goes. The views in this valley are just, well, my little point and shoot camera doesn't do it justice. That's all I can say. There are some times when I wish I had a decent DSLR with me. So we're 7 miles into the day. Looks like we're leaving the high ground behind. I've still got the river to my left and the canal to my right. As you can see, it's levelling out a bit. Had to ride on a road for a short spell. Up until now though, their roads have been remarkably quiet. Not quite halfway for the day, but the high ground is coming back again. Giving me some pleasant views. I did notice there's a bit of an optical illusion as you're going along with the high ground on both sides. Makes the path in front of me look as though I'm going downhill. And I know I'm not because of the gear choice that I have to be in. So far from going downhill, it's actually a slight incline, but as I say, it's a bit of an optical illusion. Still following the river, which is now on my right. Looking very pretty indeed. It's a much prettier river than the Rhine was. I mean, the Rhine was in flood, just looked dirty and ugly, very industrialised. This one's very much clearer, shallower, faster. You know, it's incredible in France how many empty buildings there are. That big one there, completely empty. Just looked like somebody's thrown a load of junk in there. There are so many empty buildings, empty houses and warehouses and factories. So just before I get to halfway today, I'm going to meet a series of hills, and the first of them is just down here somewhere. And that little series of hills doesn't end for me until about, well, over 3/4 of the way through the day. So the next few miles are going to hurt, and I'm not looking forward to it because I've already got a bit of knee pain going on. Oh well, we'll just take it slowly, we'll get it done. Some sort of chateau or castle or something built up on the top of that hill. If it's a chateau, it will be my first in France. That's a long way up. And my path's all the way down here. Just wondering where it's going to take me actually. Is it a tunnel? Oh, it is. Tunnel de la Citadelle. And right underneath it. Ooh. Oh, it's not very well lit. It's alright in the camera, but... Sorry, can't hold the camera steady. That's better. Oh, I didn't see this on today's route. Le Tunnel de la Citadelle. It's going to go all black in the camera now, isn't it? Plus it sorts the contrast out. Wow, I didn't expect that. And there's the other side of the citadel, up all the way up there. Time for a water break. Never short of nice spots to stop and have a break. Rest assured there'll be an even better one just round the corner, because there always is. I was just thinking how funny it is how 2 days can be so different. The scenery is exactly the same, the path is exactly the same, I'm exactly the same, and the trike is exactly the same. But today I just cannot get my legs to go. Yesterday I remember saying, you know, if I knew of another campsite I'd have gone 10-20 miles further. Today I still have 15 miles to go and my legs feel like lead. I can't wait to get to the campsite. Remember what I was saying about empty houses earlier? So could you have a house in a more gorgeous spot than Lochside on the River Doubs in southern France? And it's just all broken down. Such a shame. Who wouldn't want to live there? Don't get it. Oh, wrong gear. broken down with ivy growing all over it. Oh well. So finally, I'm within sniffing distance of my campsite. Got about a mile to go. Oh, it's been a long day. Hasn't actually, but it does seem it. Yeah, I don't think it's taken me any longer today than it did yesterday to do the same distance. I shall check when I get there. I was just sitting here quietly pedalling a minute ago. A couple of French fighter jets screamed across the sky and right over my head. Fair made me duck. They were shifting. Right, well, there'll be plenty of time for me to show you more of this canal tomorrow. Well, canal stroke river doob. So I shall get back with you then. No, I won't. I'll get back with you at the campsite. What am I on about? Well, that was the path that I rode in on earlier. I won't turn the camera fully into the sun, but this is my camping field, and Trini's just over there behind my tent, which is just there. And that roaring noise that you can hear is one of the dams that they use to make the river navigable. So I've got to put up with that noise all night. That's the second night on the trot actually that I've got to put up with that noise, because the last camping site had exactly the same thing next to it. We'll wander over that way and have a look in a minute. First thing I wanted to do though was have a little chat. Have our little tent talk like we always do, but it's not in the tent as always. Never seems to be in the tent anymore. It's too hot, to be fair. It's really, really hot in that tent. So a question was asked of me in the comments about what happened about that chain ring that I showed. There was a broken chain ring on Trini about 2 years ago. Perhaps a little bit longer than that now. But yeah, the chain ring, I was out on a ride, and as I recall, I was very close to home, thankfully. But I put pressure on the pedals and the chain ring completely collapsed on me. Now obviously I haven't got the picture of that whilst I'm here in Europe, so I can't add it to the video to show it to you. But yeah, it just collapsed. Let's go over and have a look at the waters. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Cool, it's a lot cooler over here with the wind coming off the water. Right, I need to get away from here before I continue with the story, because it's a bit loud. Now it's a little bit quieter. So yeah, so why did this chainring collapse on me? So it must have been 1 or 2 weeks before that collapse. I'd brought Trini back from Morocco. She was on the plane, in the cargo hold, and she was quite obviously crushed. I say obviously, it was not something that I noticed until I got her home, unpacked her and set her up ready for a ride, and then realised that various little bits on her had been damaged. There were only little things like the bottle cage had been squashed flat against the boom, and we had 1 or 2 other little bits. I don't think there was anything disastrous. But with the chainring, I didn't realise there was anything wrong with that until I went to go cycling. And every time I turned the pedals just 1 revolution, the chain came off. So I had a look at the chainring and noticed that 2 or 3 of the teeth in one place on the chainring had been bent over a little bit. And novice that I am with things like chainrings, I bent them back. Never even thought, of course, that weakened the chainring. But it had, and unfortunately that was the result. Was a couple of weeks later the whole thing collapsed on me. As I say, it happened near home, so could have been worse. But that's just the first part of that story, because the next part that I'll tell you about perhaps tomorrow is what to do about claiming insurance when your bike gets damaged on an aeroplane. But that's for tomorrow, because you've had more than 2 minutes already and I want to enjoy this view. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Ta-da.